We were a really vulnerable population, but politically vulnerable, which meant it was easy to dump on us. So the community got really hip to this, and they were not happy. And so we worked to help the city see better than what they did. And so we did. We actually won that battle. And over the course of a few years, was able to help the city see that there was a much better way to do solid waste in our community. But what really kept me going in this community, or in this work, was this dog. You know, actually, this is a photo from an actual magazine. The article is actually about her. It's not really about me. I just show it up for the picture. But Xena was a dog that I found tied up, in the rain one night. She was a 20-pound, bit of a monster, just like totally crazy. And she grew into this 80-pound thing. And but it was around the time that I got her, we were fighting against the waste facility, but I also got these really interesting notices from a program that was run through the U.S. Forest Service, and actually some support from Fish and Wildlife and National Park Service, and they just went together to really help urban communities really work toward their own environmental equality. And so I kept getting these notices, and they were telling me we could get a little seed grant to do work on the Bronx River. And I was like, this is really great, I'm glad you're doing this, but you really don't know my neighborhood because you cannot get to the river from my neighborhood. There's too much, waste facilities and stuff all on a waterfront. I knew we had one, I'd just never seen it. And at that time, my 30 years. And but I got this dog, and she literally took me jogging into what I thought was just another illegal garbage dump in our community. And it was. What I didn't know, and I have my dog to thank for this, was because she pulled me into this area that was literally piled high up over my head with decades worth of construction and demolition debris. So there were tires and just nastiness, and there were crack vials and hypodermic needles and just everything that you did not want to be in. And I couldn't believe I was there, except that I had an 80-pound canine in front of me who I thought at least would protect me. So, but the beautiful thing was at the end of this dump was the Bronx River. And I'd never seen it, as long as I didn't focus at all on the dump that was behind me and just looked out at the river. And and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was this beautiful, beautiful day, and the sunlight was glinting off the water, and there was all this, and it looked like these little birds were flying up out of the water, and I just could not believe that this was my neighborhood. I'd never seen anything more beautiful in my entire life. And so, of course, I went home, dragged Xena, and went and actually wrote this little seed grant and started working. And working for me meant, tell everybody about what you think this dump could become. That it could be a jewel if we really work to make it happen. So I spoke with folks, people who help do cleanups all over the place. I spoke to business leaders, I spoke to our city, and we were able to leverage that little grant into this here park. And this. And this park, has become just really an absolute jewel, I think, in New York City. We've never had anything this beautiful, in our community. And being from a place where we were told that nothing beautiful could ever be there or come from there, to have a park that has actually won national awards, be in a place like this is a really powerful, powerful thing to have in our local community. And I actually did get married there, back in 2006 with Xena as my flower girl. But it wasn't just a beautiful place to get married. I mean, it really was, and I hope many, many more do the same thing. But what it really did was inspire our community to think about what else we could have. I mean, we've been told so often that there was nothing of value in our community, and suddenly we created something of value. And, to all of us, it meant a lot to us and anybody who was looking. And so we were like, well, what else? And so someone told me about this federal transportation grant that was providing money to do studies for projects that involve non-motorized vehicular transportation. So I found out about greenways, which is dedicated bikes and pedestrian walkways, and thought we can do this here. If we can do a greenway in the South Bronx that will connect the parks in the future, as well as dedicated on-street bike paths. And this would actually create some opportunities, for us to create more, economic developments that were consistent with this type of development, like a more park-friendly use, or that we could even use it to create more environmentally friendly neighborhoods. neighborhoods, the fact that it would absorb stormwater, things like this. These are climate adaptation strategies as well. So this is the street that leads further down, into the park I just showed you a little bit earlier. And this is what it's going to look like as we start spending the $50 million that we raised in order to start building, the first several of the 11-mile network of the Greenway.